boss who said that the fully loaded bus was coming from Lagos and heading to the northern part of the country, disclosed that it took the FRSC about 4 hours to clear the road. Ibitoye attributed the cause of the accident to excessive speeding and wrongful overtaking, adding that one of the vehicles might have been carrying fuel. Governor Nasir Idris of Kebbi State has counseled people to imbibe the habit of constructive criticism against any government to pave way for a decent, fair, and responsible democracy. He stated this while receiving a newly formed organization, Tinubu Kara Gwanda Continuity Movement, TKG, on a courtesy visit at Government House, Benin Kebbi on Wednesday. The governor advised citizens to criticize with verifiable facts. He observed that some people would lock themselves in a room and write what they wanted against the government. The governor assured the new organization of total support to enable it achieve its set goals and objectives. Earlier, the chairman of TKG, Alhaji Kabiru Labojega, told the governor that the movement was not a campaign organization, but an entity that was ready to propagate the good works of the governor and his administration to the general public. He said the essence of their meeting was to sensitize their executive members on the activities of the organization and the best way to amplify the good works of the governor and the president. Labojega added that the organization aimed to bring a new dawn in the history of Kebbi politics. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has lifted its suspension on banks borrowing from its window, known as the Standing Lending Facility, SLF. CBN also pegged the lending rate at 31.75%, sequel to the decisions made at the 296th meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee of the bank. Director of Financial Markets Department, Omolara Duke, in a statement dated August 26, 2024, said the Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, adjusted the upper corridor of the standing facility to 5.00% from 1.00% around MPR at its 296th meeting, which led to the suspension of the standing lending facility being lifted. Duke said authorized dealers are now permitted to access the SLF at 31.75% and access ILF to avoid system gridlock at no cost if repaid the same day. She added that the 5% penalty is retained for participants that do not settle their ILF, which the system will convert to SLF at 36.75%. Collateral execution, the rediscounting of instruments pledged by participants at the penal rate by CBN, is reintroduced as stipulated in the approved repo guidelines. A Nigerian criminal gang in the United Kingdom has been described as prolific in their desire to abuse the country's borders. The Home Office Chief Immigration Officer, Paul Moran, said the group has rightly been brought to justice. He said 4 Nigerians involved with the gang have been jailed after they were convicted for forging more than 2,000 marriage certificates to help people live in the United Kingdom illegally. Abraham Alade Olarotimi Onifade, 41, Abayomi Aderisoye Shodipo, 38, Nosimot Mojisola Badomusi, 31, and Adekunle Kabir, 54, were all sentenced at Woolwich Crown Court in London on Tuesday. The Home Office said the 4 were part of an organized criminal group that made fraudulent EU settlement scheme applications for Nigerian nationals between 2019 and 2023. They were said to have carried out the enterprise between March 2019 and May last year, and were also found to have provided false Nigerian customary marriage certificate and other fraudulent documentation to help applicants remain in the country. A senior official at Interpol Financial Crime and Anti-Corruption Center, Tomonobu Kaya, has stressed the significance of financial technology and cryptocurrency in aiding the operations of cybercrime syndicates, which are renowned for multi-million-dollar online scams. in a series of covert missions tagged Operation Jackal 3 in 21 countries between April and July 2024. Kaya said a highly coordinated cybercrime group was responsible for some of the world's cyber-enabled financial fraud and many other serious crimes. He said the International Criminal Police Organization has arrested more than 300 people with links to one of West Africa's most feared criminal networks, Black Axe, and other affiliated groups. While the police labeled the operation as a major blow to the Nigerian crime network, it equally warned of its worldwide reach and technological sophistication, making the Black Axe a global threat. The report noted that the Operation Jackal 3 had led to the seizure of $3 million of illegal assets and more than 700 bank accounts being frozen. Interpol said it had launched the Global Rapid Intervention of Payment System, which enables the authorities in its 196 member countries to freeze bank accounts around the world with unprecedented speed. Up ahead, FBI releases evidence photos from Trump assassination attempt in Butler. At least 10 Palestinians killed in major Israeli raids across West Bank. These and more after the break. The FBI on Wednesday released images of investigation evidence related to the attempted assassination of Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania on August 13. According to the FBI, the gunman Thomas Crooks made a sustained, detailed effort to attack a large gathering of some kind before deciding to target the Republican presidential candidate. FBI officials said Thomas Crooks, 20, searched more than 60 times for information about the Republican presidential candidate and his then rival Democratic President Joe Biden before registering for the Trump rally in early July. Rojek said the FBI has not yet been able to determine what motivated Crooks to try to assassinate Trump at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13. In the days leading up to the July 13 rally, Crooks searched for information about the site, including where Trump would speak and details of the company that owned a nearby building where he would later fire the 8 shots, one of which grazed Trump's ear. Video evidence shows Crooks was only on the building roof for about 6 minutes. Crooks, who left several explosive devices in his car, had also searched for information about bomb components as early as 2019. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres arrived in East Timor on Wednesday to attend celebrations ahead of the 25th anniversary of the country's referendum on independence. During his visit, Guterres was warmly greeted and welcomed with traditional attire and enthusiastic cheers from local children on the streets of the capital, Dili. Guterres held a meeting with President José Ramos Horta at the presidential palace, where they discussed ongoing challenges and the need for international cooperation in tackling climate change. The United Nations World Food Programme temporarily suspended movement of its employees across the Gaza Strip on Wednesday, saying at least 10 bullets struck one of its clearly marked vehicles as it approached an Israeli military checkpoint. WFP said in a statement that a convoy of 2 armored vehicles received multiple clearances by Israeli authorities to approach the Wadi Gaza Bridge checkpoint on Tuesday evening, Bullets hit one of the vehicles, but no one in it was hurt.
We have no way to assess the mindset of those who are shooting at us. We do know that the movement of this particular convoy was coordinated with the Israeli authorities. Whether the information wasn't passed down, whether it was deliberate, whether there was another reason, those are explanations we would like to get. Yesterday evening, a clearly marked UN humanitarian vehicle, part of a convoy that had been fully coordinated with the IDF, was struck 10 times by IDF gunfire, including with bullets targeting front windows. The 2 staff members in the vehicle were thankfully unharmed. But this shows you, I think, we had a senior colleague talk to you about the need for armored cars. And this is clearly one where it saved the lives of our 2 colleagues. This is the latest incident to underscore that systems in place for coordination are not working, and we continue to work with the IDF to ensure that incidents like that do not happen again. We reiterate that parties must respect international humanitarian law at all times. That means that civilians must be protected and their essential needs, including food, water, shelter, and health, must be met wherever they may be in Gaza. This applies to those under evacuation orders, regardless whether they move or not, and those who leave must have enough time to do so, as well as safe routes and safe places to go.
Hundreds of Israeli troops, backed by helicopters, drones, and armored personnel carriers, raided the flashpoint cities of Jenin and Torkam and other areas in the occupied West Bank on Wednesday, killing at least 10 Palestinians. The assault, one of the largest seen in the West Bank for months, followed a series of smaller raids in the area over recent weeks as Israeli forces sought to crush groups of fighters from Palestinian militant groups. Prime Minister's Office PMO spokesperson David Mansour said, in Jenin, 3 armed terrorists who posed a threat to their forces were eliminated in an aerial strike. Palestinian health authorities said at least 10 Palestinians had been killed in different areas of the West Bank by Israeli forces during the operation. Israeli army vehicles were seen blocking the roads of Jenin. Ambulances were seen attempting to maneuver through the military vehicles, only to be stopped in their tracks. As the Israeli military operation continued into the evening, dark smoke could be seen billowing on the horizon from Jenin. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado said on Wednesday the government led by Nicolas Maduro had detained over 150 children during a series of arrests of opposition figures and protesters following the July 28 presidential election. During a peaceful protest in Caracas, Machado also said many supporters of Maduro's predecessor, Hugo Chavez, were now turning against the current government. Venezuela's Electoral Council has proclaimed Maduro in power since 2013 as winner of the election, but has not published complete voting tallies. The opposition has published its own tallies, gathered by its supporters at polling stations, showing a landslide win for its candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez. Sudanese people residing in the flood-stricken Tokar city of the Red Sea state have fled with what's left of their belongings and animals. People were seen walking on the road on donkeys and horses into the conflict, leaving infrastructure badly neglected. Severe flooding ravaged parts of the western Japan was braced early on Thursday for what officials say could be one of the strongest storms to ever hit the region. CCTV footage from the prefecture of Kagoshima showed strong winds blowing in from the sea in the early hours of Thursday morning on Typhoon Shashan approached. Authorities issued evacuation orders for more than 800,000 residents in Kagoshima, as well as central Japan's Aichi and Shizuoka prefectures. Japan's meteorological agency issued an emergency warning saying the typhoon would bring flooding, landslide, and wind strong enough to knock down some houses. The 81st Venice Film Festival got underway on Wednesday evening with a gala ceremony attended by movie makers and cinema lovers. Hollywood veteran Sigourney Weaver was feted by the festival, with the 74-year-old actor receiving this year's Golden Lion Lifetime Achievement Award. Weaver's long-acting career spans 5 decades and includes critical and commercial successes such as Alien, Avatar, Gorillas in the Mist, and Ghostbusters. Among the attendees were the filmmakers and actors making up this year's juries, headed by main competition jury president, French actor Isabella Huppert. Following the ceremony, the guests were treated to the world premiere screening of Tim Burton's starry Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. The 81st Venice Film Festival runs from August 28 through September 7, 2024. The 11-day event fires the starting gun for the awards season, with films premiering at Venice in the last 3 years collecting 77 Oscar nominations and winning 14, making it the place to be seen for actors, producers, and directors alike. Stars expected in Venice this year include Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Lady Gaga, Joaquin Phoenix, Angelina Jolie, Daniel Craig, and Nicole Kidman. French President Emmanuel Macron welcomed heads of state and international organizations at the Elysee Palace on Wednesday ahead of the opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Paralympics Games. Paris 2024 said in a statement on Wednesday that it has sold million tickets for the Paralympic Games, adding they were confident it would be a sold-out extravaganza. More than a month after the opening ceremony of the Olympics, Good morning. It's the 29th of August. Yes, Josh actually highlighted that earlier. 2024 is still the signature morning, and yes, we're running. We have several amazing packages to excite you and also inform you. Beyond exciting you, excite your intellectual and also inform you. And I'm not going to be doing this alone. Yes, first we're going to be taking the newspaper headlines. Josh, good morning.
Good morning once again.
How was your night?
It was fine. Brief. Very brief. How was yours?
Okay, I guess we are in the same boat, but it happens. It's for the good because we love you. We'll bring in the best. And I want to believe it's because of
Of
them.
course, now it's because
Okay.
of them. I have to do
So it's because of you.
That's
It's
why
because
I
of you that we're. And it's quite interesting to know. It's always an exciting time anytime we have to come and be with you here on Signature Morning.
Always is.
Every morning. Yes. And first, we're going to go straight with the newspaper headlines.
Moving over to The Guardian. And on The Guardian, we have, just below the mask, fresh anxiety as federal government disconnects 50 million on linked SIMs September 14th. Before we move, have you linked your SIM card?
If it wasn't linked, it would be, you would hear that what's it called?
You won't know now. Go and link your SIM.
It's linked.
They
no,
said
no.
September
How can
14th.
you say that? How can you say that? I think I linked mine and forgot about it a long time ago.
And
but the thing is, if it's not linked, you would know because there is a breach. It cuts off.
Sure.
You know, or they will keep sending you this.
That message.
Yes.
We'll see it September 14th.
Okay. Well, if they call me up, it's fine. Maybe a good riddance. Criminal Justice Act ineffective 7 years after NBA laments. Criminal Justice Act ineffective 7 years after NBA laments.
Okay. Rep members warn Lagos LP against illegal Congress and others. You can find this on the page 5 of The Guardian.
NLC threatens indefinite strike as Ajero honors police invitation.
Currency in circulation hits 4 trillion naira, defies CBN's monetary tightening measures.
Okay. Kaduna, Bauchi, other residents to vacate flood-prone areas.
Beyond the facade, unveiling violence in Nigerians' peaceful presidential election.
Moving over to the next daily.
Moving to The Nation. Police officer, 19 others held for terrorism. The rider has it as how ASP orders suspects Abet, Boko Haram, bandits, ISWAP by DIA. And above the mask we have Ajero. NLC directs members to converge at police commands.
Okay. Foreign investors pump 800 billion naira into breweries subsector.
Atiku should wait till 2031 to run, says Bode George.
Okay. I'm moving over to the next daily.
We have why Hajj Commission must be reformed, says the president. The rider has it as that is C Edo 2024 on page 5.
And on the Daily Times this morning, Bode George to Atiku, you can't be president in 2027. With a rider, says PDP will field a Southerner as presidential candidate in 2027. Talking about 2027 insensitive, Atiku's spokesperson replies Bode George.
Supporting Nigeria's democracy, best way to respond to Nigerians' aspirations, says the EU.
Strike. Federal government ASU reach compromise to reconvene September 6th. With a rider, Education Minister constitutes implementation monitoring. Education Minister constitutes implementation monitoring committee of NEEDS Assessment Intervention Fund.
EFCC warns lawyers against violating anti-money laundering rules.
Alleged terrorism. DIA gets court order to detain policeman, 19 others for 30 days. I'm moving over to Daily Trust. Flooding kills over 170 in 15 states. 100 707,652 hectares of farmlands, 80,049 houses destroyed. NEMA warns of severe incidents in September, October. Tinubu urges speedy action on environmental concerns.
Contract scams. Kano government orders closure of MDA's accounts.
Kidney harvest. Okay, since we don't have crops
Yeah.
again to harvest, so I think this person is looking
Wow.
for, well, this is not a farmland, please. Our bodies are not farmland. Kidney harvest. Federal government suspends doctor accused in Daily Trust report.
NCC set September 14 as final deadline for SIM and NIN linkage.
Fresh diphtheria outbreak claims 40 lives in Kano.
So there's a fresh outbreak. Amazing. Abuja, how serving naval officer killed man stole his jeep. Wow.
Now moving over to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch newspaper this morning, government plans evacuation camp as flood hits 28 states. With the rider, flooding affects 133 local governments, 527,703 persons. Tinubu promises aid.
Bankers Committee completes restoration of National Theatre, and those are the images you can see on your screen.
And
okay,
okay, you can take that one.
okay. NLC plans massive procession as Ajero honors police invitation today. Article, Body George disagree over 2027 presidential ambition.
And on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, on page 5 of the Vanguard, WASSE, that's WASSCE, on West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination.
Yeah.
NAS wades into age controversy with the rider. It's a cake article. Says federal government acting like military regime. Federal government's declaration unacceptable draconian CSOs. It will lead to capital flight. Done. We will subject it to public hearing. Senate. We haven't been briefed on the matter. Reps.
Oh wow, are you for real? We haven't been briefed on the matter, says
Okay.
the rep.
But
And
it's-
then
but
did
it's
you know that they
happening-
said you can't, except you're 18, you can't do jam anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing that
And
that's why.
so
this
rep has not
controversy-
been briefed. That's amazing.
But this is happening in Nigeria, and reps don't know. They are waiting to be briefed.
Okay.
Okay.
NCC gives September 14th final deadline for NIN SIM linkage compliance.
Alleged terrorism financing. NLC president honors police invitation today. That's on page 8.
Energy crisis. Marketers seek diesel price reduction to 700 per litre.
South African billionaire Johan Rupert overtakes Dangote as Africa's richest man.
Oh no.
Why would, when we are
Why
his
do I
own
even-
people have claws on him trying to pull him down? Anyway,
Insecurity. Bandits, kidnappers, others should be exterminated, says Tinubu.
Nigeria. Interpol arrests over 300 members of Black Axe criminal group.
Alleged terrorism financing. NLC president honors police invitation today.
Okay, I'm moving over to this day. And on this day newspaper below the mass, NEPC, non-oil exports yield. Non-exports yielded $2.7 billion at half year. With the rider, CBN survey reveals businesses anticipate lower inflation compared to households, saying rising costs push Nigerians into debt and optimism.
Whistleblowing policy. Federal government recovers over 83 billion naira, $609 million, 5.4 euros in 6 years. And Tinubu to present bill to National Assembly. Amazing.
Okay. Nigeria's defense chief visits Nigeria's defense chief visits Niger Republic to discuss security collaboration.
Duke is wrong. We can screen. Confirm acting CGN after swearing in, says Senate.
Nigerian Tribune. On Nigerian Tribune this morning, on page 4, Nigerians perplexed under Tinubu's government. Afenifere, with the rider, laments crippling hunger, runaway inflation, unremitting insecurity, profligate waste of resources, raise alarm over harassment of media, reiterate call for implementation of Oronsaya report. And that's on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune.
And on page 30, federal government assumed to reconvene September 6. The rider has it as agree on modality to address lecturers' demands.
NNCC uncovers individuals possessing over 100,000 SIM cards. Set September 14 as final deadline for NIN-SIM linkage.
Please do ensure you link your SIM card before that September 14th.
But somehow people will say that the rigors of actually linking it is actually very...
It is, but we'll discuss
hectic.
this. We'll discuss this. 4 Nigerians jailed for forging more than 2,000 marriage documents for Nigerians in UK. You can find this on page 6, just in case your family member was, part of those people.
Police arrest naval officer for killing ex-naval chief's son in Abuja.
And on a very sad note, 16 bonds to death on Orebini Expressway.
NLC to storm police headquarters with Ajero. Workers directed to proceed on indefinite strike if he is detained, on page 19. And Daily Independent is our last for today. And on the Daily Independent newspaper this morning, if you must contest, wait till 2031. Wow, Bode George tells Atiku. If you must contest, wait till 2031, Bode George tells Atiku. With a rider, says a Southerner must occupy the position till 2031. You can't talk of 2027. 2023 has no benefit yet. Atiku's aide.
And Plateau Assembly reduces elected local government officials' tenure to 2 years.
To avert ASU strike, federal government raises committee to review union's demands. Meets union September 6th after deadlocked meeting.
Kano implements single central revenue account for MDAs.
Fitch rating sounds alarm on MPOX fiscal threats to Nigeria orders.
NACON, presidency decries financial impropriety of religious institution.
Governor Oti convenes Labour Party stakeholders meeting September 4th.
16 bonds in road crash in Ondo.
Nogasa attacks presidency on level playing field on crude oil sales.
Fitch ratings sounds alarm on MPOX's fiscal threats to Nigeria and others.
Local government fiscal autonomy. Izion, legal luminary, flays NAS over Supreme Court judgment. And that's on page 29 of Daily Independent.
To avert ASU strike, federal government raises committee to review union's demand. The rider has it as meets union September 6th after deadlocked meeting.
Okay, that's all we'll be taking today on the newspaper headlines. We'll head straight for the newspaper review. We have Chris Maduka joining us for that. Good morning.
Good morning, Chama. Good morning, Josh.
Your face doesn't look, it looks like Nigeria's situation at this moment. How are you, Mr.
Well,
Chris
it will
Maduka?
be, one will not be happy himself if he allows Nigerian situation to weigh you down.
I hope you're
So
good.
we have to find a way of survival.
I hope you're
And once
good,
you
sir.
see my cap go this way, you see I'm still here.
Okay,
Still here.
happy to have you. So newspaper review is with us shortly. Yes, this is Signature Morning on Signature TV. I would love to remind you to go follow us on all our social media handles as Signature TV officials on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And yes, the third time, we're live 24 hours on YouTube at Signature TV. So go subscribe and leave it there. Now we are on the newspaper. We've read out a whole lot of newspaper headlines, and now we are on the review. To do this is Mr. Chris Maduka. Yes, I have my colleague Joshua Oritogo with me. So there are several. I would have said but which are the ones that caught your attention?
Well, for these stories to make headlines, they're all attention catching.
So, but we'll not review all of them. So, which are you going to go with first?
Well, I keep saying the flooding season is taking toll on the lives of Nigerians. Yesterday, we counted 170 already dead in 15 states. And that means half of Nigerian states are ravaged. And NEMA and NIMET are warning that the worst is yet to come. And already the federal government and other state governments are creating camps, evacuation camps. And we said the evacuation camps, these people who are dead would have saved more than enough lives. When you say 170 lives already wasted in Nigeria, these lives could be mothers, could be fathers, breadwinners, extended and nuclear relations, and the multiplier effect, economical damages of enormous damage to the economy with the properties and life wasted could have been saved if we have evacuated the people, because the flood-prone areas are known, and it is not fair. And for those who have lost their life, and then their houses swallowed, and the economic waste, we could have done better. That's the only thing I could have said. And to be forewarned, to be forearmed, it didn't come to us by it's not emergency. It was announced.
Josh, I would put this, we keep telling these people that they should, for instance, if where they stay or like the region where they are is a valley, it's obvious that when it rains and it's flooded, the place is going to be flooded, so is it about them relocating? Because when you ask someone move, you tell me where to move to, or you give me where to move to.
And now that the people have created evacuation camps, that's where you should move.
Okay.
If your life is in danger and the federal government or the government of the state or local government said move,
evacuation.
No, this is not the first time Nigeria is experiencing flood. There are camps already known. In Nigeria, I give instance of Kogi State, because I have had experience of flooding in Kogi State. It affected where I was staying. I didn't move to the camp, but some people who were so vulnerable that they didn't even have another place to go, were moved to the camps. Now that the flood is coming, the warnings are coming, there's a way the state having handle emergency. What is NEMA doing? I don't need to start sending relief after people have died. There is a film I watched, when there's emergency, there are alerts. Yes. There is an alert that every state, every country of the world are putting in place. Alert, and when that comes, you'll be here, abandon this place. If you don't abandon it, the government will help you to abandon it. Actually, maybe you provide the cost. When you have been warned, because it's embarrassing that the world is 15 states in Nigeria. How many states are we? 36 states. More than half of Nigerian states are going under flood. And we're still treating it with kid gloves until everybody is under the flood. If they identify the areas that are at risk, evacuate them to the camps. And they must be, Nigerians in this situation. Some people are confused. You need to help them. They say in Nigeria, nothing works until we help it along. So the people in governance establishment or governance positions should do their job, because it's their job to protect lives and property of Nigerians.
So there is a possibility that enough information is not being disseminated.
Enough information we are giving.
Rural areas.
Enough information we are giving and somebody is in charge of no area in Nigeria is rule. Are you saying they are on their own?
What I mean is there enough dissemination of information for them to know that this and this is going to happen?
Whose job? That's what we are saying. If you have information, you take it to them and tell them, it's not safe for you to be here. Move. And you provide, like you said, means of moving. There must be, and they move here, go here. People who the camps are far off from where they stay, you help them with salvaging what they can salvage of their property and move them to safety. Even if where their property cannot be salvaged, you move them, the much, the little they can gather, move them. If they need help with assistance with transport, move. After all, we spent 21 billion to build a presidential, and if we are losing people in the, you say they are rural, then I mean they're not. Let me just not go into it. It's not that every time they give us room to refer to what they've done. We have presidential jet. And the police and all the people fighting crimes, they have even helicopters. We have private jets. So if there's an emergency, we need to move people. It's not only during elections, you go to the is there any place rural when it's campaigning? Where do not politicians, Nigerian politicians don't go for campaign? So when there's a flood, you say, they don't like to hear that word. And then they should be condemned to their fate because they are rural. And somebody is in charge taking tax. If you touch those areas, somebody will come and say it's our territory. Why then they'll give it to other countries if it's too rural and too remote that they cannot control it? Are we overwhelmed by the size of Nigeria? We're not doing what we're supposed to do, and we keep losing lives and property. And it's affecting everything, adding up to our pressure. So, like this morning, the way I started, I don't even want these issues to get, but you can afford not to. The SIM card registration, we say now some people were caught with 1,000, 1 million.
100,000.
And this time,
100,000. A person was caught with 100,000.
And is this? And we are still treating this with kid gloves. These are the scammers. These are the people who they know what they do with these SIM cards. And the federal government and the security apparatus know. And that's why when people are making calls, certain calls, certain WhatsApp groups, and somebody is monitoring. They are saying they are not. Why do we have so much insecurity and they left? They're still, every day they postpone. Let's know the number of people who are Nigerians saying. And how many even are Nigerians? Who are the Nigerians who are here registered and they have data, the system? In some other countries, once you cross the border of that country, your data is in their database. So they follow you. If you commit crime, you are nabbed, or you continue to be on the run. But here, the borders are porous, and how many Nigerians even hold our SIM card? How many of them have our name that are saying there are people who still aid people who are not Nigerians to get SIM cards in the name of populating the area for politics. And now these are, when you start fighting us back, there's nothing you do for your girlfriend's son to call you Papa. So when you tell yourselves lies, it will come back to you. This same issue, National Identity Card Management Commission, they are all involved. We have been talking and talking and talking, and until Nigerians are reduced to probably 210 million. It's too much for us. We want to reduce the population to 10 million so that we handle them. Right. So we look at some of our people, like Idi Amin style, just waste some of our men. And then so that we reduce the number we can manage. We overwhelm.
So on another interesting story or topic, on the Punch, we have NLC plans mass procession as Ajero honors police invitation today. It's like they're preparing for, I think we had an interview a few days back, and then they said they were ready for... Today,
29th is the day the NLC.
Yes.
Our date with the history with the IGP. And it's like it's like a proverb they say in Africa said, it's all what you have you used to do kola nut. But that's very funny because if it's machete I have in my hand and you come visiting me, Joshua, I will use machete and say, this is what I have for kola nut. So the NLC is using the power they have to protect themselves because If the Agama lizard said, if I do not do and show the children that I am Agama lizard, they will eat me in rainy season and eat me in dry season. So if NLC do not show the IGP commissioner and IG,
yes, IG,
that they are NLC, the prime labor union of Nigeria, when we interviewed one of their branch chairmen, he was saying, my president is not an ordinary people. IG cannot invite him to just say, come and answer us, and he's going to prepare. So with him being the first worker, he says he's the first #1 worker. So then you have #1 citizen in Aso you have the second one in Senate, the #3, the way they share the positions. Some people like us, we are the number 210 million in our population, so they have taken the positions up. And we suppose that they take the responsibility, because big fish, you fetch the bigger portion of firewood. Smaller fish like us, we fetch the small. They take big positions, but they don't deliver, and that magnanimity. They say, the uneasy lies the head that wear the crown. So if you wear the crown, go with the uneasiness, because you don't give anybody excuse. This is the reason why you failed. This is the reason why you failed. We have given you Nigeria to manage. And you actually came for interview. And you passed, because the vote we voted for you shows. Unless you are telling us that you took yourselves there so you can do anything you want. If it was we that selected you and gave you the job of managing us, you should deliver to us. And that's what we are asking for. So NLC, and we are watching the way things are being handled. We expect that you should come and explain. And if the explanation is known, we have been asked to go to court, because this invitation of the lion, inviting the ram for a breakfast meeting. That's where everybody is like, what is lion going to do to the ram? But if it's a lion, invite lion, I say, okay, whatever they come, there's equal. But you can see IGP and the circumstances involved in the invitation. It's not a dinner party. It's not a tea party or just like a breakfast party. They say you are being invited to come for questioning that you on something that is related to treasonable offense.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's not something you wake up and then hit your buttocks and say, let me go and see the IG of police. And imagining the kind of people you control. So if they have all the Nigerian workers, and they say, we go with our president to wherever he goes, what do? Let's see, show us transparently how you handle the issue of our president. If he's guilty, let him go to, let's charge him to court, let the court find him guilty, and if not, all these invitations, because we know that the police, if they find the way they operate, if they really think you are guilty of an offense, they won't delay you more than 24 hours. That is constitutional, and they will take you to court for court of competent jurisdiction will determine, because nobody is guilty unless proven otherwise. So this invitation raises so much. What for? If they have raided the house and they agree they raided the NLC. If you have evidences that there's something against them, charge them, go to court. Why is this party of lion sheep meeting? That's what is raising so much tension in the polity. Let it not be another distraction. Because we live wrongly handled. You don't just, because you want to play, those days were small, we need to play one risky game. We will carry paraffin, that's kerosene in our mouth. Yes. I will blow it and do much. And we say, during celebrations, imagine the kind of risk we are taking as kids. Let it not be that kind of game they are playing. If you are really sure what you are doing, charge IGO, please, with all the retinue of serious-minded, shoulder-studded, of security heads, and they don't find out whether NLC is guilty or not, and they're still finding them for tea party. I mean, somewhat. Let's not, and that's why everybody is like, why? If you invite a criminal, nobody will be saying. But if people felt our guy is not a criminal, and they vote to him, that's this thing they do in Igbo land. If a village suspects that I'm a criminal,
yes,
and it's my word against them, They say, okay, Chris Maduka, raise 9-man witness. They call it Iyimma Ditegete. Come to the village square. Let 9 people stand behind you and take the oath with you that you are not a criminal. If I'm not able to raise 9 men to stand behind me on Iyimma Ditegete, the 9-man swearing ceremony, 9-man witness behind me, then I'm guilty. Automatically. So if the whole Nigerian level, Congress members who pay their check-off dues to the Senate Legacy Office, so much trust the Oga and said, IGP, our guy is not criminal, we're coming with him to your office.
Okay, and on the Vanguard, we have on West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination, NAS, the fact that NAS has they've waded into the age controversy. An article says is that a cake says federal government acting like military regime.
Article should pay me because it was me that said it was my stand. So you should pay me copyright for using my word.
And the federal government declaration unacceptable draconian. CSOs are making that statement that federal government declaration is unacceptable. That is a draconian kind of statement. They said it will lead to capital flight. You know, we talked about, yes, capital flight. People would take them out of the country. And where I'm interested is we will subject it to public hearing. Senate said that. But the one that is also like a spice is we haven't been briefed on the matter.
Honestly, if they have not been briefed, WAEC came up with this and nobody has been briefed and we are talking about it. It's high time they get an ass briefed. There's nothing wrong. So WAEC is not
a unit go ahead carrying it out.
They've not carried anything. They only said that's what they would do. Okay. And we are talking about it and we said they cannot do it. And just if they seek my opinion, I said it's wrong. And some other Nigerians have started adding their voice, said it is wrong. You regiment everything, regiment even when people should die. You regiment when they will be born, regiment when they will work for you and retire. Regiment when they go to school in Nigeria and there's no job, you don't regiment and they must get a job. You regiment when they take a JAMB exam. When they finish that, they pay you money, but they don't regiment when they come out of JAMB, how they get admission. Now, let's not be very... We are operating democracy, and sure, there's a place where they say, EU said you come and support Nigeria brand of democracy. I'm so happy. The democracy we run here is not the one I see other part of the world. Nigeria is breeding their own democracy. So when people want to come and support our democracy, they're coming to support Nigeria brand of democracy. So democracy according to Nigeria.
But is this still democracy?
Niger democracy.
But it's not democracy.
Is it democracy or democracy?
If the truth is not the truth, if it's not the truth.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You do.
The truth, it depends who is talking about it. And they don't stand there and tell me the truth because the truth is subject to a lot of analysis. A truth in your own situation might, when you cross board, across this teacup, you cross my
There
side.
is a general truth, Chris.
General truth.
This cup is white and blue with the signature emblem.
If we get into this argument,
you can't.
If we get into this argument, Chairman, we will require.
So it's possible there is no light
signature money every day. Let's not look at it. What we are saying is that we assume a larger percentage of people can see that's democracy. Can see one thing as one. One. I write one here. They see it one. When it turn the other side, it might be I. But the more number of people see it as one, they will go with it. So majority carry the day. But when we subject it to making sure, we have to see God to tell us what is the truth. Because most of the things we regard as conventional truth, or when you take it true, you might invite Nigerian court to interpret to us what is true. And that's why most of the times we run into crisis and say, let the court interpret. And the interpretation is still according to, if it gets to the Supreme Court, according to the 7 judges that will sit there to determine on a case. And 5 might stand on one, 2 might have. So are you saying they are not talking on the same truth? So let's just leave the matter of truth. What we are saying is that Nigerians have begun to talk about it. And thank God, when the majority sees there's no reason to regiment the year, the 18 years as a year for somebody to take JAMB. The capital flight they are talking about, they've not thought about it. The WAEC says when you are 18, pay them money to sit for WAEC, and the money to register for WASC Keep going every year, they collect the money. They don't care what happens to Nigeria. Because when you say Nigerian children cannot go, there are still some parents who can still take their children to Ghana. And by road, some of the buses cross by road, every day they're taking children to Ghana, to Togo, to go to school. You can't stop them. You can't give them food to eat. You can't give them a job. And you want them to keep their children, feeding them until they're eating before they go and sit for jam. Did they make provision for parents to keep children till they are 18? You know what 18 children at that age limit can chop at home?
Chris, like you said, we can keep on this matter and we will not go anywhere. No, however, I would want to know what you think about the way Nigeria as a country is viewed internationally. We have a case that Interpol arrested over 300 members of Black Axe, and I believe they must have been existing before now. I'm coming, Chris. I'm coming, Chris. Apart from that, 4 Nigerians were also arrested in UK for falsifying marriage certificate. So you will see there are cases of Nigerians being abducted.
I disagree.
You know, but the eruption of it in this recent time and government.
I know where you're going, Choma. You just want to tell us what Nigeria see about us.
Now, what Nigeria see about us?
What the international community see about Nigeria.
At this moment,
what did
there is now serious scrutiny.
What did Nigeria say about China? What did Nigeria say about UK, USA? The issue, the crime that happened there, if they put Nigeria and just put the percentage of their crime in here, everybody here will have a share.
So doesn't there seem to be a special scrutiny case on Nigerians in the international world?
Why? It's just their word against us. And it's, some of us that are Nigerian journalists that will keep painting what. If you call your Alba Okoro, your neighbor will use it to carry ash.
Chris, I think you're missing my point.
No, I'm not missing your point. You are saying
you are definitely missing
the world seeing us.
No, I asked you. I did not say. I didn't drop any opinion here. I asked you, how do you think we are viewed?
How we think we are viewed is not even important now. I'm worried about what our problems here, how we can solve it. How they can see us in any way.
Yes.
Okay. I have an issue with international community and how they see us because they are part of our problem. With IMF and Nigeria reform, economic reform, we talked about yesterday, we couldn't even review it. Where are we seeing? We're seeing through the eyes of IMF. We are not seeing through the eyes of 210 million Nigerians. That's what. So you tell me I come here and see that how they see us. If they sow wind, they will reap storm. So if they think they can suppress developing country because we are a virgin market, for them to sell it, they don't want us to see the light of day. Crude oil is stolen. They don't talk about it. They are talking about 4 Nigerians. Let them tell us the people from their country that are buying the crude oil. Let's be sincere for once. Nigeria is not the worst. We are surviving. We are trying to survive.
Not the
and they press us to the press Nigeria to the war. They will survive. And that's even what the Nigerian government have to understand about Nigeria.
We are resilient. Of Nigeria.
We are resilient.
Did you know I feel like that's one of the problems of Nigeria?
Yes.
We
resilient.
But it's also a beauty because it's not everybody that can stand it.
But until we get to the point where we say we don't want to survive, we just want the change. Because when the politicians push us, we try and find a way to squeeze ourselves. It's like we're all flag in this country.
You know why I love 2 of you? Every day, you always help in my case. So it's not that I'm reviewing the case. So if it affects you too, so it's just so you too, even Choma, you too. So why am I reviewing? If all of us agree that we have issues, let's be talking about how we can provide solutions. We are not just sitting here like I keep saying, because we don't have enough time. When we talk about anything, we say, why not federal government try it this way? So we have not come here and said, it's not. We say, there are times this same issue, let them quickly do it and call it an action. Let's see the number who have not registered. If they prove their case, they'll go through the troubles of registry if they are genuine. But then they sieve out, not just another process after SIM card, then the people will go and manipulate the system again and the crime situation continues. Because this same issue and the national identity card and all that kind of having one particular can help reduce people who manipulate Nigerian situation. So these are some of the things. We are not the worst. Our government might have issues, and we as Nigerians telling them do it this way. if they do it our way, might try to start solving the problem. If not, we keep talking that, and it's happening everywhere. Of course, the wide America is going through their campaign period, and you can even see that what is happening there is not, Nigeria is not alone when it comes to
Chris, there is
Trump
something
and Kamala.
there is something on the Nation on page 2. It said,
Yeah.
police officer, 19 others held for terrorism. How ASP, other suspect abate Boko Haram bandits ISWAP by DIA.
So DIA
Is that coming to you as a shocker?
No, no. It's always the rat that is in the home that always invite the one in the bush and say, come, there's fish on the basket hanging over the fire. That is it. I've told you in this under this set, this program, we've reviewed this issue of insecurity, how some people arrested, even some neutralized terrorists. You find them with registered ammunitions, AK-47 of Nigerian Army, 0123, the way they code their arms. Who gave it to them?
Just to link what she's saying now, still on Vanguard, bandits, kidnappers, others should be exterminated, says Tinubu. And remember this redemption camp they used to give Boko Haram that we saw one time, that they rehabilitated them because they said that they have repented. How do you now link this? Are they going to be exterminated?
No, in the world of this day,
Yes.
you find out that even the people, a lot of people on death row in the prisons. You don't find the hangman again. There's no job for hangman. People are running away from taking job for hangman. And then the international organizations are on some countries that still approve for assassinate. I mean, for people to be killed, firing squad, or by electrocution,
Yes.
and all those kind of hangman knows. There's no more in this era. What I'm saying, if you catch somebody alive and you take through rehabilitation and the person, so I don't have any issue with rehabilitation. What you have is sincerity in her rehabilitation. Because you should be rehabilitating somebody who has gone the other way, and he says he's gone to the other side. Before you bring him to your side again, it takes process. Do Nigerians have the wherewithal to rehabilitate all those religious extremists and change their mindset to start thinking like you? You just don't do it 1 week and you push them into the society. When there's a relapse, I don't know whether you smoke before in your life. A smoker will smoke, and then one time, for over 3 months, say he has stopped smoking. When the relapse comes in 6 months, you find the man smoking more than he has
smoked before.
So these are process of where involved, how many psychologists are involved in rehabilitation. So many, it takes through the process of washing, cleaning up, and the person come out. But we quickly rush over some of this process and then carry millions of people, say you, and put them back in the system. And when the little thing spikes up what they believed before, they become a dangerous.
Chris, how do you evaluate this? It's a currency in circulation hits 4 trillion naira, which defies CBN's monetary tightening measures. How do you evaluate it?
And then you have to find out that you know the number of fake currency in circulation in
In evaluation.
I entered one keke, and one young man dressed on her gave the guy 1,000 naira. After giving him change, he dropped. He wanted to give the same 1,000, use it to do change somehow. He was trying to do, and then suddenly he put the money up there and said, what is happening? I was sitting at the back. I said, so you know fake currency? He said, yes, this is fake. I then started checking the one in my wallet. Said,
to be very
because
sure.
I don't even know. So it's only the business you are into, you know when the terms. The currency going, some of these ones, even CBN, do not know the quantity of fake currency in circulation in Nigeria. So we can hear this number.
It's not saying fake.
I'm just saying, but they're counting all of them as money in circulation. They're counting all of them. So is it the CBN do not know the money you printed? If you know you put in circulation 20 billion naira, and suddenly you find 40 billion in circulation, you say the process overwhelms their tightening measure. So how can that is a macro, serious, hard economic decisions, which the eggheads at the CBN and all that level should make. And that is coming to fore that the number in circulation in Nigeria, no more wonder we have inflation rate. Because my little knowledge of economics say when more money is pursuing fewer goods, that's inflation. So if the federal government has put 20 billion in circulation and suddenly it's 40 billion pursuing the same one mugu of rice, why wouldn't you get to 10,000 naira, one mugu of rice? One mugu of beans is 10,000 naira in the markets where I pursue. I don't know where you buy your. If you have a cheaper where you get it, tell me. I come there.
There's no cheaper place. So
no, but this is what is echoing. This is what is blowing up, rekindling our inflation every day. So if they have found a solution, what do? Let them mop up the cash. They have the banks, these commercial banks. They have to look at the operations. Some of them are conduit pipe for scam. Some Nigerian politicians have the account. You know the amount of money some Nigerians have in those. I almost lost interest in Nigeria when they were exchange of Nigeria, when they were doing the new currency.
The new notes.
With them more. Before Nigerians slept, they were sleeping in queues in banks trying to get 1,000. They were buying. Some people are buying 10,000 naira for 15,000. Some people are buying 5,000 for 3,000. But the big men, we didn't see any of them in the queues. And they appear in events and spreading clips, brand new notes that we are line up with the same country. For God's sake. Who took those cashes to their houses for them? I told a friend, I said, did you see any billionaire here? We are sleeping and waking up in the bank buying colors. But some of them will appear, even during those hard days. That's how they came up with, if you spread at event, the EFCC will invite you. But the EFCC is doing selective invitation. Because as big men, you know how they do it? They don't spray it. They will carry it in bundle of Crips note and dump in bags. So the celebrant will be dancing in front with a bag, and people were dumping, packs of naira. Oritogun knows what I'm talking about. Obito situations happen in your area so much because you see beautiful dressed
Chris, let's leave this part because you have gone somewhere. Now let's talk about something that it has been coming up, and I feel like these two of them should sit down in a room and talk. Like that's just my own feeling. But they judged to Atiku, you can't be president in 2027. Says PDP will feed a Southerner as presidential candidate in 2027.
There's a place where you may say, my place, let's not waste our energy. You cannot separate the fight of salt and pepper, and salt and oil. You cannot. But the judge and Atiku have been strong party people. They've been there in PDP for a long time. That they're good and dead. So if they find reason why any of them cannot be president in Nigeria in 2007, then they settle it. They should not bring us in. And they have their opinions. Atiku has the right to be Nigerian president, even like Bode. But they also have the right to, if you come up and say, no, I don't like it to be so, but my word is one vote. So why should it be a debate? That Bode George told Atiku. I've seen it in the headlines many times. I don't find, why is the next, are they using it to say paper? The followers of Atiku, we want to hear the response of Atiku and the newspaper will use it to sell. But otherwise, it's a man-to-man that the elderly senior citizens of Nigeria, they know themselves better. Are you going to, do you think you know Atiku more than Bode George knows him?
Not at all.
And Atiku knows Bode George. So when he's responding and even sending their PA, I'm worried that it's the PA that is talking, but the Bode George is talking direct, and Atiku is using PA. It means there's still job for us who are communication experts. So probably next time, Bode George will employ, when it gets hotter, employ you.
Maybe sometimes you feel there's some things you don't need to answer, because
Atiku will still respond to
you. So now I'm saying talking about 2027 so sometimes
no, it's good to make preparation.
That's
what you understand.
But then
that's what his PA said, that this insensitivity.
But Chris,
and I'm so happy that somebody is saying it's insensitive now to start campaigning for 2027 where there's a hashtag Fearless October. It's still looming. ASU is indicating that committee has been Ajero and the Labour are picketing IG. Let's say they are picketing IG office. And then hunger and hardship strike, the
It's
end
still-
governance
it's still-
that is still looming and then fuel price in some
Has
part
gone
of
up.
Nigeria 1,200, black market 1,004, in some filling stations
We have
1,000,
monkeypox.
and the monkeypox.
We have
All this-
bloody.
At some point,
Okay,
I'm
so-
thinking,
so this is
of the way,
alluding-
because of the way Nigeria is going, I'm actually
Yes.
thinking of cutting my nails. I just looked at them now and I'm like,
Why do you want to cut them?
to, you know,
Leave this woman.
But now, Chris, look at
Leave this
something.
woman. Because when yesterday she told us that today is
lemon day.
no,
juice.
no, today
And
is
then-
actually
and then-
National
and then
Lemon
say-
Juice Day.
and then
We're
say
going to
lemon
bring it
juice
up.
day. And then look at when I go to my
With all
friend,
the things happening in
with
this
all
country,
this, honestly,
lemon
we
So
juice
didn't-
day.
sometimes
say
it's
lemon
just,
juice. And then-
this show ain't going to end without us, you know,
Oh,
celebrate.
when
It's
is
We
you
will
that
drink
you
lemon.
It-
We will drink lemon juice.
you can
it-
go
But
ahead
Chris,
drink as
before-
much
But the
lemon as
truth
you want.
is, because
But-
so you need to give people hope. I believe that's why the president said there is
Lemon
a
juice
renewed
cannot
hope
be-
agenda.
cannot
No,
be- cannot
it's
be.
not about lemon juice. I'm
cannot
saying
be.
the reason why there is a hope,
Yes.
the reason why you hope onto something is
Yes.
so that whatever is happening now
Now,
will
when
not
you're
deter
saying
you from the
what's the
future.
hope that lemon juice is giving us? The lemon juice.
But it's not about the lemon juice.
It's
ba.
not about
not.
why it's
It's not.
just.
It's-
No. We're
If
saying
you talk too
we
much
will still
about a
celebrate-
problem-
they'll still
Of
call-
course, we will
look,
celebrate
If you
lemon
talk
juice.
too much
normally,
about a
I read
problem-
a book where Wole Soyinka,
It has a
I
way-
love that word. He said, "Our legs will dance again.
Mm.
Our hands will jam in clapping and praise of the Lord. Our mouth will be filled with sweet melodies of songs of praises unto the Lord. Even
Hallelujah.
laughter and smiles will fill our faces. So it's not all about what are we talking here. Let nobody mistake that we are hopeless.
No.
We are no. We are only saying that we need to talk like this to get us to that land of hope. And
Okay.
that dream
I guess
land.
you should actually maybe we should try and land with the fact that federal government has to reach compromise to reconvene September 6th.
It's the same thing. Somebody threatening they will go on strike. You meet to reconvene, to talk. You are not. What stops them from? This is not the
No,
first time.
another paper said there was a
The committee has
deadlock.
been raised.
Yes, there was a deadlock. They could not
Why
come
this
to
deadlock? They will deadlock until it has to go on strike. University will close. What it takes us to close that university and to open it? Hey, do we know what we lose? So why not avoid this deadlock meetings? And that's why when you say raise committee, raise panel, I stand against it. Because if we raise 1 billion committees, I'll be sitting in, drinking tea, eating cola nuts, and the water, even only water, the budget for water, the contractor who supply water for that meeting, and all that kind of thing, is still eating it now. My people talk say, it's the yam of a stupid man they use to cook.
Thank you very
Chris,
much.
Next
no,
pepper
thank
soup.
you,
They used to
Chris,
cook
thank
snake
you so
pepper
much.
soup.
Chris,
At
Thank
this
you,
point,
thank you. I'm
we
out of
really
here.
have
I'm
to
out
say-
of
no,
here.
no, no, we're not.
Why?
No, because you guys are saying Chris,
No,
so
no,
it's
because
like I'm because of the problem.
Not at all.
Let's
Not
leave
at
Nigeria
all.
to the
Not at
Chris,
all.
problem.
that
So-
was a nice one. That was a review by Chris Madoka, Christian Madoka. We can't keep talking about the problem of Nigeria. Other countries have problems, yes. And so because of that, we want to take Dateline Abuja with Godwin Sunday. Godwin, good morning. Godwin, good morning. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Godwin?
Godwin, good morning.
I think he might be having some glitches. So we play you. It's still about you. This is Signature Morning on Signature TV.
What I'm trying to say is that beyond the question of justice delivery, we should also know the issue of speedy adjudication of cases. You may be shocked to know that there are some cases with a very wonderful legacy,